So you've rescued Princess Zelda and recovered the Triforce from Ganon's ashes, but the game is really only half over. You aren't the true hero of Hyrule until you've braved the Legend of Zelda's second quest. And it won't be so easy this time. So what is the second quest anyways? In the 1980s, whenever you'd finish a game, it would often start back over from the beginning, but you'd keep any extra lives or power-ups you've earned so you could continue playing for a high score. Some developers took things a bit further by making small changes to the game for the second loop. The NES has a very limited amount of memory, so they usually couldn't make big changes to the game, but Super Mario Bros. Replaces the Goomba enemies with Buzzy Beetles, Bubble Bobble becomes Super Bubble Bobble, and most notoriously, Ghosts and Goblins insists that you play it a second time if you want to see the proper ending. The second quest to The Legend of Zelda, however, isn't like those games, although it is mandatory to complete if you want to see the true ending. Instead of just making the enemies more aggressive, the developers changed everything. There's a whole new layout for the overworld. The dungeons have totally new designs. There are new enemy types that don't appear in the first quest at all. And there's a brand new mechanic that allows Link to walk through walls. It almost feels like someone hacked the game and created new levels. If Nintendo had sold the second quest separately as a sequel to the first, I'm pretty sure it would have sold well. Sadly, I think a lot of players may have missed out on the second quest just because it isn't super obvious after finishing the game that there's a good reason to keep playing. Even if you did start a new game, the second quest opens up in the exact same way as the first, with, "It's dangerous to go alone, take this." Maybe the old man should have a different message the second time around to let players know what was going on. Unlike the first quest, it's much harder to get Link powered up in the second. Heart containers in the overworld aren't as easy to find, and there are way fewer rupees hidden behind burnt trees. The dungeons are some of the most devious designs ever seen in a Zelda game. The creators knew that if you've come this far, you were ready for a challenge, and they did not hold back. The Legend of Zelda is a stone-cold classic in every sense of the word, and the second quest is just one more reason why. The developers created almost an entire second game that would only be seen by a small fraction of the players. They didn't have to include a second quest, but I'm glad they did. Modern players that attempt this game will still have to deal with all of the challenges the NES is notorious for. Most dungeons feature multiple bosses this time, and there are tons of secret passages to navigate. And if that wasn't enough, there's a new enemy, the Red Bubble, that can disable your sword until you find a fairy or drink the water of life. But what if I told you about a secret code that will allow you to start on the second quest without completing the first? What if I showed you a ton of new tricks that I didn't show in my first Zelda video? And what if I showed you how to find every hidden rupee and item so you'll be ready when it's time to face Ganon once again? Well, on today's episode of You Can Beat Video Games, we'll learn all of that and more. If you're new to the channel, we're doing deep dives on retro video games and giving you the professional strategies that can be used by the casual gamer. Please make sure to subscribe and check out YouCanBeatVideoGames.com for episode lists, news, and official You Can Beat Video Games merchandise. Let's get started. Alright, it's time for the second quest. If you want to jump right into the second quest but you don't have a save file handy, you can simply name your character Zelda, and that will take you right on to the second quest. I do feel bad for some poor girl that got this game back in the 80s whose name was Zelda, and had no idea why it was so difficult. The first thing we're going to do as usual is grab the wooden sword, and then we're going to take advantage of the enemy item drop tables to get bombs, just as we did in the first quest. So do not kill any enemies, and make your way over here to the left. The first enemy that we want to kill is in the next room, and it's a blue Octorok, so make sure not to kill any of the red ones first. By killing a blue Octorok here and then following the rest of the pattern, we're going to give us an 80% chance of getting at least one bomb drop, and we didn't get one there, but we're going to have more chances. So once you kill that first Octorok, come over here into this room and take out all 4 red Octoroks, and then we're going to go back into the other room, and you'll see that one of the enemies has changed color, and now we have 2 blue Octoroks. So kill one of them, and then we're going to kill a red one, and then kill a third blue Octorok. At that point, hopefully you will have gotten at least one bomb drop. If you didn't, then just reset the game and try again. You have an 80% chance of getting at least one bomb drop. Unlike in the first quest, there's not a bunch of heart containers that we can find by using the bombs, but having bombs at the beginning of the game will help us make sure that we're able to keep bombs throughout the entire game because of the forced item drops. So if you kill 9 enemies without getting hit, and then kill the 10th enemy with a bomb, you will get a bomb drop. Unless the 10th enemy you killed is an enemy that never can drop items, like the bats, which are called keys. In that case, you'll get the bombs from the next enemy that you kill that can drop items. Instead of spending time powering up in the overworld, in the second quest we're going straight into level 1, which is luckily located in the same place that it was in the first quest. This is a little gift from the developers. The next levels will all be located in different places. In the first room on the right side, there's a bunch of these red Goria enemies, and if you can clear them all, we'll be able to obtain the wooden boomerang, which is the only item that we're going to find here in level 1, but it is a very helpful item nonetheless. Once you have the wooden boomerang, make sure to equip it, then go back into the entrance for level 1 and take the door at the top of the room. This will take you into a room with 3 more red Gorias, but they're going to be a lot easier to fight this time because you can stun them with your boomerang. Be very careful of the statues that are shooting energy balls at you, and whenever you defeat all 3 Gorias, we'll get the game's first key. We can bomb the right wall here, but if we go to the room up above, we can fight these Stovtos enemies to get a compass. These Stovtos will try to shoot at you with their swords, but luckily we got the stopwatch item which freezes them all in place. The compass will show you where the Triforce piece is in each dungeon, and there is a compass and a map to find in each one. Neither of those are mandatory items, but I am going to show you where to find them anyway. In this room, there are 3 blue Gorias to fight, and they take more hits to kill than the red variety, but we can attack them the same way by stunning them with the boomerang and attacking them with our sword while stunned. I'm going to leave the last one alive. Whenever you kill that Goria, it's going to drop some bombs, but we're going to have to fight a Dodongo over here, and to defeat a Dodongo, you need to use bombs. This is the second quest, so we should get good at trying to stun the Dodongo with a bomb explosion instead of just feeding it 2 bombs. If you can stun it with the explosion, you can attack the stunned Dodongo with your sword, and it will always drop bombs, which is nice. Down here we'll pick up the map, And you'll notice that in the second quest, instead of the dungeons being shaped like an eagle or the notorious Manji shape, the first 5 dungeons are shaped like letters that spell out Zelda. As we come back through here, if you need bombs, you can kill this last blue Goria, and you will find some bombs in this room. But we want to head back to that area where we bombed the right side of the wall. So we need to go down one more room, and then head through that bomb hole. So make your way over through the hole on the right. In this room, we can see that there's a secret passage, so you need to kill all of these bats, which are called keys, and you'll notice that you can use the boomerang to kill them. Usually the boomerang just stuns enemies, but whenever you're fighting keys, it can kill them. Head on down the stairs. This secret passage will take you around to the top part of level 1, and there are going to be a lot of secret passages here in the second quest. We need a key, and there is one hidden in this room, but to get it, we need to fight these Wall Master enemies. To make them appear, you need to get close to one of the walls, and the hands will start coming in, but you need to be careful. If they grab you, they will take you back to the beginning of the dungeon, which is very annoying. Those flashing bubble enemies will stop you from using your sword, but they can't stop you from using the boomerang, so if your sword is disabled, you can just use the boomerang to stun the Wall Masters until the sword comes back online. In this room, you need to bomb through the top, and we will find the boss, Aquamentus, which you can hit with a couple bombs or try to strike the horn with your sword, but at this point in the game, we only have the wooden sword, so bombs are your most effective way of fighting it. And that's it. We've completed level 1 and gained the first piece of the Triforce. 7 more to go. Now that we've completed level 1, there was one heart container that we could have gotten before level 1 that doesn't require any items found in dungeons to obtain, but it's located in such a remote and dangerous part of Hyrule that it is much safer to go to level 1 first so that we can get the boomerang and have an extra heart container to work with. We're going to make our way back towards the starting point of the game, over to that area where we fought the blue Octoroks to get the bombs. So make your way over that way, and we're going to head to the Lost Woods. Head across this room where we got the bombs, and once the trees turn to this brown color, we'll need to deal with the Moblins. For the most part, we should try to avoid them. Moblins take a good bit of hits to kill, even the weaker orange variety. And if you do want to tangle with some Moblins, you should try to stun them first using your boomerang. Head over this way, and whenever we go down, we're going to enter the Lost Woods. We want to go just like we did in the first quest. Up left, down left. You'll hear the chime, and we'll make it to the west side of Hyrule. Over here in Hyrule's dangerous west side, we'll have to deal with a lot of those Lynel enemies, so you need to be very careful to try to avoid them. They can deal a ton of damage, and they take a lot of hits to kill. This is the area that we were looking for. Take out this Djinni enemy. If you don't touch any of the tombstones, you won't summon any more ghosts. And then you just want to push this tombstone over here on the left, and inside we can get the 5th heart container. Now that we have 5 heart containers, the old man at the waterfall will allow us to take the white sword, and we can upgrade our attack. We'll definitely want to pick up the white sword before we make our way into level 2, but before we go there, there's a few more items we should get over here on the west side of Hyrule. In the area that used to be level 6 in the first quest, we can find a hidden cache of 30 rupees. Make sure to pick those up before you move on, and then be very careful in this room. The Lynels here can deal you a ton of damage because we don't have the protection from the blue ring yet. Work your way around them, and then take the second ladder on the right in this room, And once you get up here, we're going to go to the right. In here, you want to touch the Armos on the far right to grab the power bracelet. The power bracelet is so much more important here in the second quest. It doesn't just open up warp halls this time. You'll need to use it to find level 4 and to get the magical sword. So yeah, the power bracelet is very important this time around. In this room, you'll need to carefully deal with the Lynels, but we can use our bombs to find another hidden cache of rupees. It's up here in the upper left corner, so use a bomb right here. And inside, it's a secret to everybody. But yeah, 30 rupees is pretty good. Once you get those 30 rupees, carefully make your way around the Lynel enemies again, and head on up this ladder. This will take us up into the Death Mountain area, so you'll need to be careful to watch out for the rocks. They cannot be killed. This is a dangerous room, but you can use the bombs here to take out these Lynels fairly easily. They tend to cluster together, so you can get them all in one shot if you're good. Bam. Once those guys are taken out, make your way over to the left. And we're going to take the ladder down here. Clear any of these red Lynels that you can so you won't have to fight them again later. And this is the room we were looking for. Push that rock, and we will find the letter to the old woman that will allow us to buy the water of life. Very handy. That's the last thing that we need to get on this side of the map, so we're going to make our way to our first warp hall that we need to access using our newly found power bracelet. The warp halls are very convenient to getting around the map. The map of Hyrule is quite large, and until we have the recorder, also known as the whistle, we won't have any good ways to get around quickly other than the power bracelet and the warp halls. So we're going to head down this ladder, and it's over there on the left, so just head up this ladder. Be careful to avoid the Lynels here. And you're going to push the rock on the left side, which will open up a stairway in the middle. And this time we want to take the stair on the far right, which is going to take us over to the Lost Hills area, but we don't want to head to the left there. That will take you into the Lost Hills, and you won't be able to come back this way very easily. Instead, you want to go up this ladder and enter this store. In here, we can buy the blue candle for 60 rupees. Very good. And we can use it to burn some trees and find even more money. Unfortunately, there are only 370 rupees hidden in the overworld this time, as compared to the 570 that were hidden in the first quest. This is going to be enough rupees to get us the blue ring, but we're going to need a lot more money this time around, so we are going to have to plan some strategies to get more rupees. Up here on top of the waterfall, we can find the white sword in the same location that we found it in the first quest. The magical sword, however, is located in a totally new location this time. If you have 5 hearts, the old man will let you take it. The white sword doubles the amount of damage we deal, which is going to make us way more effective in combat. We need 12 heart containers before we'll be allowed to take the magical sword, so it is going to be a little while until we can upgrade again. Once you have the white sword, head to the bottom of the waterfall, and if you head over here into the Lost Hills, instead of finding a level at the top, if you just keep going up, you will eventually reveal a fairy fountain this time. So that's a nice convenient way to fill up your health. Once your health is refilled, there's only one way to get out of the Lost Hills, so you're going to head out here to the left. There is a hidden thing in that little waterfall there where there's an old lady that can give you some hints if you want to spend money. But there's a lot of more important things that we need to spend our rupees on, so certainly don't waste any money talking to her. Head on down this way. Once you go around this curve, we're going to enter our first room that has a burnable tree, where we can use our blue candle to find some money. This thing's gonna pay for itself quite quickly. It's not really a secret, there's 30 rupees hidden here. And once you come out of there, we're going to head on down. We have 57 rupees right now, and the goal is 250, so we can buy the blue ring. And we can find 30 more by burning a tree up here at the top, and taking another hidden cache. That brings our total up to 87. Make your way to the left, and the path will head over to the left and then curve downwards back towards the beginning of the game. But whenever it curves down, we'll hit another room with a burnable tree, and in here, it's the one in the lower left corner, so hit that one. And inside this time, we'll only find 10 rupees. Every rupee counts though, so once you grab those 10, head on over to the left, and then make your way down where we'll cross over the bridge, and make your way towards the Lost Woods again. Pass on through this room where we picked up the bombs at the beginning of the game, and in here we're going to go up, and we're going to burn a tree here, this time for 100 rupees. So that's going to bring our total up to 197, which means we only need 53 more to be able to get the blue ring. Up here we can find a fairy fountain if you need to refill your health. And then we're going to head over to the left. Make your way over to the left again, where we'll be in the room right above the Lost Woods. And in here we can burn yet another tree to pick up 10 more rupees. We're up to 207 now, so just make your way back the way that we came. You don't want to go down into the Lost Woods. And as you come across this room, don't forget that if you go up here, we'll find that fairy fountain. So if you've taken any damage between the last time you were at the fairy fountain and now, make sure to top off your health before you leave. Make your way back to the right. What we're going to do now is work our way to the eastern side of Hyrule, where we're going to find some more hidden caches of rupees, although this time they're not going to be inside of trees. Most of them are going to be hidden underneath Armos statues, which may be kind of surprising because you would think that most of those Armos statues are located over on the western side of Hyrule. But you just want to cross through these green hills. A lot of easy enemies here now that we have the white sword. So just keep making your way across to the right. Over here we'll find a small lake. Just continue to go across and watch out for that Zora that can spit energy balls at you. This next screen and the one right above it look almost identical, except this one has one path on the right and this one has two. So you want to go to the screen with the two paths and take the upper one. Once you're up there, make your way over to the right, and you'll find this room with the 4 paths, so just head up there. And then go over to the right, where we will find a small room with 2 Armos, and if you touch the Armos on the right side, you'll find a hidden stairway, and underneath it, there's 10 more rupees. Once you emerge from there, we want to go back the way that we came. I mean, it's a dead end. There's nowhere else to go. And then you're going to head up here. In here, we want to touch the right Armos again, and that's going to take us down another hidden stairway and get us 30 more rupees this time. Pretty good. That's going to give us almost enough to get the blue ring. We only need 2 more. So we should probably just fight a few enemies and try to find them, although if you do need more rupees, there are more hidden in this room right here, but we're going to come back for those ones later. If you go over 255 rupees, you won't be able to collect anymore, so if you need them, they're right in there, but you don't want to waste any rupees in this game. So if you have around 240 something like we do right now, Wait until you buy the blue ring, and then get those 30 rupees later. Over here in this room, you may remember there was a bonus in the first quest that you could get by walking through the ceiling. And you can do it again, except this time it takes you to a hidden store, and this is the only place in the game where you can buy the blue ring. This store also has a very good deal on monster bait, selling it for only 60 rupees when it normally costs 100, so we are going to be coming back here later. Once we have the blue ring, we will take 50% as much damage from the enemies, which is extremely useful. While it's certainly possible to beat the game without collecting any of the rings, and with only using the wooden sword, it certainly makes it a lot easier if you get the best equipment early. We picked up those 30 rupees that we opened the door to earlier, and now we're going to head into another one of those warp halls that we now have access to because we have the power bracelet. We took the stair on the right, which leads us down here in the lower part of Hyrule, and we're going to come across to the left here, which will take us back to the starting point of the game. Level 2 is actually hidden in the same location where we purchased the blue ring in the first quest. So that's where we're going right now. If you remember where the store was in the first quest where we bought the blue ring, that's the area that we need to go to, but instead of finding a store this time, we're going to find an entire level. So just come over here to the left and make your way up. If you need a fairy fountain, there was one over to the left and then up again one screen, but we don't need it right now, so just head on up into this room with the 6 Armos statues, and we want to move the one in the middle of the top row. That's going to reveal a stairway, and it will take us in to level 2. I distinctly remember playing level 2 of the second quest as a kid and thinking, this level is really difficult. There's a bunch of dark nuts in here, and the boss is a Gleeok, which was extremely challenging considering I still had the wooden sword and I hadn't found the blue ring yet. With the equipment we have here, we're going to do a little bit better. If you kill all the Gibdos in this first room, they'll drop a key, and up here we can easily clear these Zol enemies with the white sword. We don't have to though. Just move on to the next room where there's a bunch of keys, the bats, and if you navigate around them, you can get an actual key, which will bring our total to 2. We didn't have any leftover keys after level 1, so we're just going to have to make do with whatever we find in here. Up in this room, there's more Gibdos for us to fight. The Gibdos are not that difficult to defeat. They're slow moving and they can be stunned with the boomerang, but they do take a lot of hits to kill, and if they do hit you, they'll do a lot of damage. So I recommend stunning them regularly, maybe do 2 attacks and then stun and then do 2 more. That's the best way to fight those guys. Don't take a lot of chances with the Gibdos. Select your bombs and blast through the right wall. In here we'll be able to grab a key, but you'll notice that there's some blocks that are restricting us from entering the center of that room. We'll need to go up and around to get into there. Use your boomerang to take out the keys in this room. Once they're all cleared, the shutter doors will open and we'll be able to move upwards, but watch out for those statues that are constantly shooting those energy balls. In here there's a Manhandla, but this is not the boss of level 2. It will drop a key for us, but we need some more bombs, and if we kill this Dark Nut, it's actually the Master Dark Nut, and we'll clear all of them, which will make it easy for us to get a forced bomb drop. So that's a good place to use a bomb. Just take out that one Dark Nut, and it will count as clearing all of them, which will make it very easy to get your 10th kill without taking a hit. In the room at the top, you can grab the map, and in here we're going to find our first illusion wall. Simply push through it and enter the middle part of the A. In here we're going to find a very important item, the recorder. Or if you go by what the instruction manual says, it's called the whistle. So there's a little bit of a discrepancy there. I mostly won't be calling it the recorder. We'll have to head out the way that we came, so just press back through the wall. Not all illusion walls are bi-directional. Sometimes you'll only be able to go through the wall in one direction. We're going to make our way back the way that we came. We'll clear this manhandla this time. I noticed that if you try to hit it as it's coming down and to the left, that seems to be the easiest way to get it in a single shot. If you don't clear it in one hit with a bomb, just use your sword to take out whatever's left of the manhandla. And then just make your way down. We'll have to clear the Gibdos in here again to open those shutter doors. It may have been a good idea to not clear all of them the first time through, considering that we were going to have to come back through here again. But in any case, take them out. One good thing about Gibdos is that they often drop bombs. You'll notice that they have bombs on their item drop table. So we have 7 right now, but if you were short on bombs, fighting Gibdos could be a good way to get more. Head down into this room, and we're going to use one of our keys to go through to the right. And in here, we'll encounter some Pols Voice enemies. The easiest way to kill Pols Voice enemies is to use a bow and arrow, but we don't have those yet, and they actually take a good number of sword strikes to fight. So you want to try to stay as far away from them if possible, but you can't stun them with your boomerang. So if you don't have shooting swords, you're going to have to get close. I like to attack them from the left or the right side because they don't move horizontally as quickly as they can move vertically. So whenever you're fighting Pols Voice with a sword, you do want to fight them from the side. Once they're all defeated, you'll be able to get a key, use a bomb to drop into this room, and in here, if you kill all 3 Darknuts, we'll be able to get the compass. The compass is of course not that important of an item, but if you wondered where it was, this is where it is. I don't think that you're going to be very surprised when you find out where the piece of the Triforce is hidden though. Yep, that's right, it's in that upper right corner. So once you have the compass, head on back the way that you came and make your way through the door on the right. The compass is much more useful in the later Zelda games where it reveals the location of all of the treasure chests inside of a labyrinth. But here in the original game, it just shows you where that Triforce piece is, and that's something you could probably have worked out on your own. We want to clear all of the Darknuts in here, so remember you can't hit them from the front. And whenever they're defeated, they'll drop some bombs for you. Quickly walk through the door into this room so that you can avoid those blade traps, and if you clear all the keys, we'll get yet another key, bringing our total to 4. There's only 3 Zol enemies here that you need to clear to get another key and open up the shutter door at the bottom. And that will take you to this room that has a secret passage that will lead us towards the boss of level 2. If we clear these Gibdos first though, we can actually get a blue rupee, which is worth 5 rupees, and we're going to need all the money that we can get in this game, so it's probably worth taking those guys out and getting that rupee. Head on through the Sacred Passage. It's going to bring you up in the room right below the boss. There's a few Darknuts in here that you can take out, and if you do clear them all, you will be able to grab some bombs. We didn't actually need the bombs, but I did want to show you that they were there. Up here we can fight a 2-headed Gleeok, and I like to attack Gleeok from the side. Now you can attack from the left or the right, but it's actually better to attack Gleeoks from the right side because their hitbox skews to the right a bit, and you may actually hit more often. So fighting the Gleeok, attack him from the side, and we'll be able to grab that second Triforce piece and be on our way back to the overworld. You should remember from the first quest that if you play the recorder in the overworld, it will summon a whirlwind that will take us back to any of the levels that we've already completed. But the weird thing is that in the second quest, it will actually take us to locations that correspond to levels from the first quest. Right now, it can take us to level 1 because level 1 was in the same location, but the other place that it can take us because we beat level 2 is an area that corresponds to where level 3 was in the first quest. If we play it on this screen, we'll open up a secret passage, and inside we'll find a hidden cache of 30 rupees. There wasn't anything like this in the first quest, but there are a lot of hidden items in the overworld this time that can only be found using the recorder. The way that the recorder works in the second quest is very strange. You would think that having cleared level 2, that using the recorder would take us to where level 2 was in the first quest, but no, instead it takes us to where level 3 was. So things don't exactly line up one-to-one. It's probably good that it does work that way, because if we completed level 4 here in the second quest, and then the recorder would take us to level 4 in the first quest, that would allow us to bypass the raft, and the designers wouldn't want us to do that. If you play the recorder here in the desert, we will find a priceless heart container. And that's not the only one that we're going to be able to find. There's actually a second heart container that we'll be able to get using the whistle. But first, you'll want to come up to this screen in the desert and get another rupee reward. It's a secret to everybody, but it's not actually a big secret. It's 10. With all of the statues in the dungeons that are shooting energy balls at us, the next thing that we really need to purchase is the magical shield. And we have enough money to buy it right now, although if we go to a certain store, we can actually purchase it at a discount. So let's take the left stairway in this warp hall, which will take us back towards the graveyard. Head down this ladder and cut across the room with the white armos and up the ladder on the right side. We're going to head over to the right and go up into Death Mountain again. This is where we're going to find the second heart container that is hidden with the recorder. Make your way across this room. The Lionels are still dangerous, but they're not quite as dangerous as they were before when we didn't have the blue ring. Watch out for the rocks in here and make your way to the right. Head on up this ladder. And once you get up here, we're going to go back to the left. So cut back to the left, and when you get to this room, this is where we're going to play the recorder. And inside, we'll find that heart container. Well, I suppose we could choose that red water of life. Tough one. I'm not sure what this guy is even doing. How does he finance this operation? He just hangs out in little tunnels in Hyrule, and if you find him, he gives you free items. I don't know how this old man's enterprise kind of works. It's not a very good business model. Once you have the heart container, we're going to go back the way that we came and head down this ladder. That will take you through this room with the Armos, and this time we're going to go down the ladder at the bottom, which will take you into this fairly remote part of Hyrule. And just come up through this path, and we're going to use a bomb to reveal a hidden store. In this store, we're going to be able to buy that magical shield at a very good discount. It only costs 90 rupees here. We're very smart shoppers. Remember, the magical shield can be removed by the like enemies, so whenever we see them, we need to be very careful now. Now that we found those 2 heart containers and have the magical shield, we're almost ready for level 3, but before we go there, we need to buy some monster bait, and we just don't have enough money. You saw at the store that we were just in that monster bait can cost up to 100 rupees. And as we pass through this room, we might as well use a bomb to open up this hidden store, which is one of the locations where we can buy the water of life. If we show this letter to the old lady, she'll offer us the blue or the red water of life, but we do need to conserve our money right now because we need to buy that monster bait. And to get the money that we need, we're going to head over to the graveyard and kill those ghosts. It's time for some good old-fashioned ghost bustin'. The ghosts are officially called Jinnies, and only the one that you see when you enter the screen can be damaged. Whenever you touch one of these tombstones, you'll summon another Jinnie which can damage you, and you can summon up to 9 additional ones, but you'll only be able to damage that original one, so you'll want to keep track of it by stunning it with your boomerang. Once you kill him, it will clear all the Jinnies on the screen, and the best way to do it is to hit it 4 times with your white sword, and then start stunning it and creating the other ones by touching the tombstone. So you can touch the tombstone, summon some fake Jinnies, and continue to stun the main one, so we're only going to need to hit him 1 time. This is a great way to get money because you're going to have 10 enemies on the screen, and because of the rule of forced item drops, that means that we're going to have cleared at least 10 enemies without taking a damage, so we'll always find at least 1 blue rupee, and there's a good chance that we're going to find a lot more than that. So remember, hit the Jinnie 4 times, and then keep stunning him with your boomerang as you touch the tombstones. And there you can see we got a whole bunch of money. You can use the stopwatch so that the ones that are summoned when you're trying to collect the rupees don't get in your way. And right now we have 61 rupees, so that's enough, and we're going to leave this for now. If we need money later in the game though, we will be coming back here to the graveyard. That is a very fast and very easy way to build up a lot of rupees quickly. We're going to head up this ladder and go through that warp hall door. Take any road that you want. Well, we want the road on the right side, which is going to take us up here near the Lost Hills. Remember from before that the store that sold us the blue ring is the one that has the good price on the monster bait, so we're going to make our way to the upper right corner of the map. So just head on to the right through here, and we need to go through the invisible path here. Watch out for these P-hat enemies that can only be damaged when they're stopped completely. And we'll come up to this store. The guy says, "Boy, this is really expensive," but no sir, you are wrong. This is a very good deal on monster bait. Head on back the way that we came, and go to the left. Just make your way to the left over here. Now if you remember from before, up that ladder was where you found the letter to the old woman in the first quest. But we don't need to go up there now, it's a store this time. There's a fairy, that's a nice thing to find. We'll grab that. And we're going to make our way back down through this area where we found the money in the Armos statues. And head to the left. This will take us to an area where we need to play the recorder, and that's going to reveal level 3. It's sort of like revealing level 7 in the first quest. Level 3 is shockingly easy. It's the easiest level in the game, and I'm not talking about just the second quest. It's arguably easier than level 1 in the first quest. Since we have extra keys, we can go through the door on the right, which will take us to the boss 2 rooms after the entrance to the dungeon. It's 3 Dodongos. Oh no. Use your bombs to defeat them. Remember, if you can stun it with a bomb, then you can hit it with a sword, and it will always drop a bomb in that case. It will take 2 bombs to defeat the Dodongo if you're feeding them bombs, and they won't drop a bomb in that case. Once they're gone, you'll get the heart container, and this should be the Triforce, but no, instead it's the compass, which reveals that the Triforce is actually very far away. That's actually just a trick though. What we need to do here is kill all of the wall masters. You want to hang out near the left wall, that will give you the most space to fight the wall masters, and whenever they stop spawning, you can push this brick on the right, and that will open up a hidden passageway that will take us all the way over to the left side, where we will be able to find that Triforce piece. There's a very oddly placed key here, so don't miss that. And we'll need to take out all of the red Gorias here to be able to open the shutter doors that will take us into the final room. Because we're going to need to spend it anyway, we can use our monster bait here, which will make the Gorias very easy to pick off. We even got the stopwatch, very nice. And in this room, there it is, the third piece of the Triforce. We could just call it a day at this point, but if we want the magical boomerang, and this is You Can Beat Video Games where we are getting all of the items, we'll need to go back in and get it. Use the recorder to open up the path again, and this time whenever we go up into the second room, instead of going to the right, we're going to continue through the door at the top of the room. Take out any red Gorias that are in your way, but there's no reason to kill all of them, and make your way through the door at the top. Over here, there's a new enemy type. These are flashing ropes, and these snakes are 4 times more powerful than the ropes in the first quest. There are no flashing ropes in the first quest, so this is a unique enemy only made for the second quest. Now, just because they're unique and 4 times more powerful than the original ropes doesn't mean that they're very difficult. You can still stun them with your boomerang and take them out that way. Up here in this room, we'll find the map, and there's a bunch of blue Gorias in here, and even more importantly, there's a bunch of statues that are shooting energy balls at you, so you can see why we wanted to have the magical shield before we came in here. That magical shield is going to help us against all of these projectiles, although you'll still get damaged if things hit you from behind. Once you take out all the Gorias, you'll be able to go into the next room, and in here we'll find some Stalfos enemies, which are very easy to clear now that we have the white sword. When they're defeated, we'll find a key, and in this room, we'll need to pay the troll toll to get into the final room, where we'll be able to get that magical boomerang. Give him a monster bait, and that will spend the monster bait and we won't be able to use it anymore. But there is a way that you can get through that room without using the monster bait, but that's a trick that I'll reveal later in the video. This is the treasure room for level 3, and we'll need to clear all of these red Gorias to get the magical boomerang. Once they're gone, we'll be able to pick it up, and then we'll just need to make our way out of level 3. We'll have to go back the way we came since we already collected the Triforce piece, so there is not an automatic way to exit. It would be nice if there was an item in the game that would let you automatically leave the dungeon, but there isn't. And just make your way down to the door. Finish off these last couple guys. You can see there's no reward for defeating all of them. And that's it. That was level 3. Very, very easy. And you can see why they flip-flopped the locations for the recorder. The location of level 3 in the second quest is the same as level 2 in the first quest, so if they had left those recorder locations corresponding the same way, as soon as we beat level 2 and used the recorder, it would have immediately taken us to level 3, and then if we would have blown the recorder again, we would have immediately found it. So they must have thought that would have been too easy, and that's why they switched those around. Level 4, on the other hand, is anything but easy. And before we go to level 4, we're going to want to have a decent amount of money. You're going to need 150 rupees to be able to get through and upgrade your bombs, which you're certainly going to want to do here in the second quest. We need bombs more than ever in the dungeons, so we definitely want to buy that bomb upgrade. We're going to make our way over to the graveyard, and it's going to be ghost busting time. I'm going to speed up the video here a little bit. You already know how to take out the Jinnies. So just take out as many as you can, and remember the goal is to get about 150 rupees. If you don't get enough in one loop, I'll show you which screen it is. It's not this one. If you play the recorder on the one right above this screen, it will open the passage to level 6, and if you go inside of level 6, that will reset all of the Ginnies and will allow you to fight them again. But for now, we're just going to make one loop because I have another way to show you where we can get some more money, and I think it will get us close enough to the number that we need to get into level 4. So remember, the target that we're looking for is about 150, and we got 106 after that loop, which is pretty good. So we'll head back over to the right, and we're going to go up the first ladder here and go back into that warp room. So push the rock on the left and open up the warp hall. And in here, we want to take the path in the middle, which is going to take us down to the bottom of the map. These blue Tektite enemies are some of the best for farming rupees, so make sure to kill any of those that you see whenever you get in here. But we are going to be able to use our recorder to find one more hidden rupee cache that's left in the overworld. We've actually found all of the other ones except for this last one. There's a lot of hidden locations in the overworld where you'll have to pay rupees, so I don't recommend just going around burning trees or blowing stuff up. Only open up the places that I show you here in the video. These red lever enemies are also easy to defeat and often drop rupees, so they're another good enemy that you can farm for some rupees as you come across here. Kill whatever levers you see and then make your way to the right. Over here, the enemies will change to Octoroks, which is a little bit more disappointing. Those are not as good for farming rupees. But kill them anyway, just in case. And just keep making your way until you get to the end, and then go around the bend. Once you get past the corner, we're going to cut back in and go to the left, and this is where we want to use the recorder to find that final rupee cache. Play it and go down the stairs, and we'll find one more secret to everyone. And with those 10 rupees, there are no more secrets to anyone. Make your way back the way that we came. We're going to head back towards that warp hall. 142 is pretty close to the 150 that we need, and it's likely that we'll pick up a few when we're in level 4. So it should not be a problem as long as you're at least this close. And on the way to level 4, we may even grab a few more rupees if we're lucky. So we'll take out these levers again. Okay, that's good. We're very close now. And just keep on heading over to the left. One blue Tektite here that we weren't able to kill before because he was frozen up in the rock formation, but all of these ones have respawned. Try to take them out and see what rupees they can drop for us. And there we go, 153, excellent. We have exceeded our goal. And we'll head on into the warp hall. The location of level 4 is through the warp hall stairs on the left. It's over here in the Lost Hills. Now, if you need to use the fairy fountain, remember that it's up above. But if you push the leftmost rock, level 4 will open up. Level 4 is one of the most devious Zelda levels ever created. It's this game's water temple. When you light up the room to the left of the entrance, you'll see some simple enemies that can be cleared to get a key, and there's some of those flashing bubble enemies that when touched will temporarily disable your sword. Temporarily is the key word there, because in the room to the right of the entrance, we'll meet their evil cousin, the red bubble, which can disable your sword until you find a fairy fountain, drink the water of life, or touch a blue bubble, which are a friendly type of bubble. Even death won't cure the curse. If you saw my video for the first quest, you saw this strategy for fighting Digdogger, where you place a bomb on top of it and then immediately play the recorder. While the recorder is playing, everything on the screen is frozen, but the timer for the bomb's fuse still ticks down, So as soon as that recorder stops playing and the Dig Dogger splits into smaller parts, the bomb will explode and damage all of them, making them very easy to finish off. Using the recorder to shorten the fuse for a bomb is a strategy that you don't have to just use on Dig Dogger. You can actually use it on a number of other bosses to help position bombs more accurately. If you don't care about getting the compass, you can simply exit through the door at the top of this screen. But if you do want to get the compass, you're going to need to kill all of the Dark Nuts and the Pols Voice here. Remember, when you're fighting Pols Voice, it's better to attack them from the left or the right instead of from above or below, because they can move up and down very quickly. Prioritize taking out the red Dark Nuts first. They're the easiest of the enemies to clear. Once you have the compass, head on up into this room. We can light it up using the candle, but we do not want to hang around in here. That's a very dangerous room. Just use a key to go into this one, where we can quickly defeat an Aqua Mentis mini-boss and move into the door behind it. In this room, if we clear all of the enemies, we'll be able to get an optional item, the Magic Book. The Magic Book is not terribly useful. Whenever we finally get the Magic Wand, an item that we just don't have yet, the Magic Book will make your wand shots end with a ball of fire, which can be used to light up a dark room and could potentially do additional damage to some enemies. The Magic Book is not that important to find, but it is a very sneaky trick that the developers have played here. By hiding the Magic Book in this room, a fairly easy room to get to, although it's behind a mini-boss, so it seems like it might be important, they give you the Magic Book, which makes you think there's probably no more hidden items here in level 4, we just need to get the Triforce piece and get out of here. And if that's what you're thinking, well then you really messed up, because there is a second, very important item here in level 4. Up through the wall, this man will charge you 100 rupees to upgrade our bombs, and now we can hold 12 bombs, which is quite awesome. We're going to need those bombs for sure here in the second quest. If we clear these red Dark Nuts, we'll be rewarded with a bomb drop. We actually have our maximum amount of bombs right now, but if we leave those bombs there, whenever we come back to this room, they'll still be there for us to pick up later. In this room, there's a bunch of blue Dark Nuts, and we may want to use some bombs to fight against them. One thing that you do need to pay attention to is that you can't damage Dark Nuts from the front, and that goes for your bombs as well. Whenever you place a bomb, that bomb has a facing, and it's whatever direction you're facing when you place the bomb. I'm notorious for placing bombs poorly against Dark Nuts. It will seem like you hit the enemy, but it won't register any damage if you are facing towards the Dark Nuts front whenever you place the bomb. Killing all those blue Dark Nuts will get us a key, and we can head up through this room, where we'll need to carefully maneuver around these blade traps to get into the door on the right side. So you want to trigger that top one and then move around it. In here, if we clear out these enemies, we'll be able to get another key. We also want to bomb the wall on the right side. Over there, we'll be able to get a bunch of bonus rupees. The Pols Voice are the most dangerous enemy in this room. We still don't have the bow to fight those guys, and we aren't going to find it until level 5. Unfortunately, we won't be able to access level 5 until we get the raft here in level 4, and that's what the second item that's hidden here is. So we are going to need to find that raft. It is very important. Take out that Pols Voice and get the key, and then we can head through that bombed wall. And it's the money store. Grab that loot and go. This time we're going to take the door at the top of the screen. This is the first time we've seen this room configuration in the second quest, but we're going to see it a lot. You'll be pushing that center block and you won't be able to go into the door that's directly across from you. Bomb into this room and take out this Dodongo. We can use the recorder to shorten the fuse of our bomb and easily stun him with a good hit. Head up in here where we're going to have to fight some more Darknuts. There are a lot of Darknuts here. Continue to take them out, use bombs if necessary, and the only reason why we are fighting these guys is to get the map. If you're not interested in the map, you do not have to fight the Darknuts up here, but this is one of the more useful maps in the game. There's a reason why they put this map in such a difficult location. If you look at it carefully, it may reveal that there are some rooms that you haven't visited yet, and that could help you to find that hidden raft. I don't think they wanted you to be able to find it. Now we can come back into this room and push that block and enter the door that we couldn't go into before. Up here we can use our candle to light it up. There's just a few keys in here, and if you clear them, there's a key that you can get, but it's across the water, and we don't have the stepladder right now. Make your way through this room, being careful to avoid the red bubbles, and push your way through the wall at the top. If you do hit a red bubble, make sure to touch the blue bubble also in that room before you leave. And over in this room, this is why we needed to bring that money. You definitely don't want to give him a heart container, but we need to get through this room, so give him the 50 rupees. If you don't have enough, you can actually bomb down there, or you can go back through the wall that you came in. This secret passage will take you towards the end of the level, right below the flashing spot from the compass. Be careful to avoid those red bubbles, and head up here where we'll fight the boss, another Digdogger. We fought a Digdogger before and we'll fight him the same way here. Place a bomb and then use the recorder. But whenever you beat the Digdogger this time, we'll get a heart container. And here is the Triforce piece, but not so fast. There's actually a secret passage through the wall at the top of the room. How sneaky is that? I can't think of how many people probably just would grab the Triforce there and then would be back to the overworld where they would start looking for level 5, having no idea that they missed a critical item, the raft, which is located up in the upper right corner of the map. We can try to make a very good bombing with the recorder this time, and I was able to actually get all 3 Dodongos with a single bomb. Very effective. We need to clear all of the enemies in this room. This is the treasure room where we'll be able to find the raft. It's very annoying to try to fight Darknuts in these close quarters, so try to fight them through the blocks when possible. You want to prioritize taking out those red Darknuts if you can. They're the easiest ones to kill, and it would be nice for there to be fewer enemies in the room. Come over here and take out this guy. And now there's just a single Pole's voice left, which should be easy to remove. The block that we need to push is over on the left side, right here. And there is the secret stairway that leads to the raft. Without the raft, we won't be able to get to level 5, so it is absolutely mandatory. Once you have the raft, we're going to head back to where the Triforce piece was, so that we can collect it and make our way out of level 4. Push through the wall at the bottom here, and there it is. Just wrap around those blocks and grab it. As a kid, we used to always think that it looked like Link was wearing some kind of party hat. So you get him, Link. It's party hat time. One nice thing about completing level 4 is that the location that it unlocks for the recorder is the fairy fountain right above the Lost Hills. So if you ever need to refill your health, there's a very easy place you can get to just using the recorder. We used that recorder to warp us over to where level 3 was, and that's the closest location to get us to where we can use the raft to get yet another heart container. We're going to do the same thing that we did in the first quest, so head on over to the upper right corner of the map and just follow the water to the right. There's going to be a little dock where we can use our raft, and it will take us up to where we can get another heart container. Unless you really want a water of life, but you don't, because we need 12 heart containers to get the magical sword, so every single one of them is very important. Now that we've done that, I'm going to show you a kind of tricky glitch that we can perform called the Rue Quarter. The Rue Quarter will allow us to combine the recorder with the raft so that we can go to even more locations. Clear out the enemies here, and we need to clip into the water near the dock. So you want to walk towards the dock, and as soon as you get right near the water's edge, slash the sword and then hit down and then up again. And if you get into the water, use the recorder and it will trigger the raft, and it will take you to a location that is one space up and one space to the left of your normal destination. And because our normal destination there was at the top of the map, it took us all the way to the bottom, which was where the game begins. And up here we can use our raft to cross over the water and enter level 5. Level 5 is the last dungeon that will be shaped like a letter. This one is letter Z. Level 5 is a lot shorter than level 4, but it has many treacherous rooms that combine Wizzrobes with the new red bubble enemies. A very dangerous combination. Oh yeah, and in here we meet like-likes again. If you get caught by a like-like, it can take away your magical shield permanently, or at least until you buy another one, so be very careful around these guys and make sure to stun them with the boomerang before you attack them. If you do manage to defeat the like-likes in this room, your reward is a blue rupee worth a mere 5 rupees. I'm not sure if that's worth it for dealing with such a dangerous enemy like all of these like-likes. But hey, if you really want to get that blue rupee, then go for it. Just make sure to stun those guys with your boomerang. And in this room, there's red bubbles and Wizzrobes. Try to get out of there as quickly as possible, but if you do contact a red bubble, you're going to have to hang around until you can touch a blue bubble, because it's going to be very difficult to defeat all of the blue Wizzrobes to get the door open in this room if you don't have your sword. You can damage blue Wizzrobes using bombs, but you're going to need a lot of bombs to take out all the Wizzrobes in here. Just keep hacking at them with your white sword and eventually they'll go down, and that door on the right side will open up. Come on, alright. Well, the door won't open up right away. You have to go around the spiral and push the block over here on the left side. That will open the door. Once you get into here, there's a Goma, but we can't kill Goma right now because we don't have a bow and we don't have arrows. Well, we're about to solve the first part of that problem, because down here in this passage, we will find the bow, a very important mandatory item. We've been looking for the bow for a while. It would have been very handy in the previous levels with the Pulse Voice enemies. Once again, watch out for the red bubbles, and we don't have arrows yet, so we still can't kill that Goma, but we don't have to. Instead, just make your way back down the stairs that we came through. Now that we have the bow, all we need to do here in level 5 is get the next piece of the Triforce. Remember that when you emerge from this secret passage, it's going to be that very dangerous room with Wizzrobes and red bubbles. So you need to get to the wall on the left side without touching the red bubbles. I'm just going to go through the door at the top here to try to reset the enemies and then quickly slide around the wall to the left. We want to push through the wall and then fight these keys in this room to get a key. These are very easy enemies to defeat to get a key instead of blue dark nuts like we were fighting before. So definitely take advantage of this opportunity. Take out these guys, grab the key, and then go back into this very dangerous room and quickly exit through the door at the top. Remember, if you touch a red bubble, you're going to need to touch that blue bubble that's floating around in there. Head through this door on the left side. In this room, if we kill all of these Vire enemies, we'll be able to get the map. But it's very annoying to have to deal with these flashing bubbles and the narrow passages here. We don't have the step ladder yet, which would make this a lot easier. Just try to stun these guys until you can use your sword. So stun them, there we go. And you can use your boomerang to take out the keys that they split into when you hit them. If you're not worried about the map, you can just move along. But this room is a lot more frustrating than it should be. If we had some better weapons at this point, like the wand would be very helpful here. But we don't have it, so once you grab the map, make your way through the door at the top of the screen, and we can use our candle to light it up. In here, there's red bubbles and Wizzrobes again, so we don't want to linger in there too long. Just make your way through the door at the top of the screen. Quickly go through the door on the right, and in here there's some Zol enemies floating around on a black screen, which always looks pretty cool. It's just like some eyes moving around. And you want to head into this room that has some more likes, so we don't want to mess around with that. We can't get the key because we don't have the stepladder. And here is Manhandla. Try to get him with a bomb. I've noticed once again that if you can get it when it's moving down and to the left, it seems like that's one of the easiest times to get it with a single bomb, but you may also be able to use the recorder to try to stop it in a perfect position on top of a bomb, so that's another strategy that you might want to try. Head down into this sacred passage. It's not terribly secret, to be honest. And that's going to take us to this room that is very close to the boss. You can take out all those Vires at one time by clearing the Master Vire. And here is the boss, the Gleeok. It's a three-headed one this time, so we're going to attack it from the right side. And remember, whenever the head splits off, you can actually use bombs to damage the floating heads. Once the Gleeok is destroyed, grab the heart container and head up through the door to grab the 5th piece of the Triforce. Now that level 5 is in our rear view, we have 2 important things that we need to do before we move on to level 6. We need to buy arrows for our bow, which cost 80 rupees, and there isn't any store in the game that has a discount on arrows. So as soon as we have the 80 rupees, we just need to buy those. And we have 12 heart containers now, so it's time to find the magical sword, which is not in the same place that it was in the first quest. So we're going to make our way down here and head over towards that warp hall at the bottom. Switch over to our magical boomerang. And here it is. We can clear some of these blue tektites to try to get some money. We need that 80 rupees so that we can buy the wooden arrows. We won't be able to get the silver arrows until the end of the game. Once we've cleared some of them, we'll head into this warp hall. And this time we're going to take the center path, which will take us back towards the graveyard. And you know what we can do over there. That's right. We can earn some more money ghost busting. So once again, I am going to speed things up. You've certainly seen this before. Hit the Jinnies a few times. Make a whole bunch more. Make sure to stun the main one using the boomerang. And then clear them all and make sure to grab the rewards before they disappear. You will want to use your boomerang to pick up the rupees whenever you're just trying to get your rewards. That's pretty important. And we now have the 80 rupees that we need to buy the wooden arrows, so we can get on up out of there. Head on back this way. We're going to take the second ladder to the right of the warp hall this time, and head on up into Death Mountain. Go past all these Armos statues, and right up here there's a store that will sell us those wooden arrows. Very convenient. We will buy something. Thanks, guy. Now that we have the arrows, we'll be able to defeat Goma bosses, which will be very important whenever we get to level 6. And we want to head up here, watch out for the rocks, and take this ladder up deeper into Death Mountain. And then we're going to go all the way to the right. We're going to see a bunch of rocks that are shaped like an arrow, and we want to push the one at the tip of the arrow. That's where the magical sword is. Is that what that clue meant when the guy said go in the direction of the arrow? Maybe. Or maybe it means something else that we won't figure out until later. In any case, the magical sword is now ours, and we are fully powered up, at least for this point in the game. Also, very conveniently, level 6 is located right over in the graveyard. You may have heard me mention it before whenever I said that you could use the whistle on a certain screen in the graveyard to reveal level 6, and if you go in there, that will reset all of the Jinnies so that you can continue your rupee runs in the graveyard. Well, this time we actually have to go into level 6 and complete it, so we're going to head back to the graveyard, but this time it's not to get a bunch of money, it's to face the dungeon hidden within. The game definitely isn't getting easier, so if you're having trouble with the next few levels, think about farming some rupees by fighting the Jinni enemies and then buying the Water of Life over in that room with the white Armos statues. And here it is. This is where we need to play the recorder, and we'll find level 6. Zelda only has 5 letters, so level 6 has more of an abstract shape. You'll notice when you light up this room that level 6 has a very similar enemy set to level 5, but we have the magical sword now, which is going to make things so much easier. We also got a stopwatch, which is nice, because whenever we kill all of these Wizrobes, we'll get a bomb drop, although we just got some bombs naturally from defeating the Wizrobes, so now we don't need it anymore. What we do need to do is go through the door at the top of the screen, and up here there's a room with Wizrobes and like-likes. No thank you. Head on through the door to the left. We can easily take out the Vire enemies now. Because we have the magical sword, they won't split into 2 keys anymore. Use a regular key to go through the door on the left side, and we'll switch over to the boomerang to help us deal with the like-likes in this room. We want to make sure to stun them. You do not want to get eaten by a like-like and lose your magical shield. That magical shield is one of the only things that's keeping us protected from all those energy balls coming out of the center of the room, and of course the beams that the Wizrobes shoot at us will be deflected as well. Whenever you defeat the final enemy in this room, your reward is a blue rupee? Yeah, that definitely doesn't seem worth it. Wait in the doorway here so you can trigger those blade traps, and then carefully grab the blue rupee at the top of the screen before you push the block on the left side to open the door to the secret passage, where we can find the step ladder. The step ladder, of course, is a very useful mandatory item that will allow us to cross single space patches of water, or red water, which might be lava, or maybe it's blood. I'm not sure. Once you have the stepladder, you want to head back the way that we came, and here's some of that lava or possible blood. You can use the stepladder to go right across it. Down in this room, we can use our blue candle to turn on the lights. there's a key hidden here in the middle of the room, and now that we can cross that red water, we can get it. You do need to be cautious of the red bubbles there though. There is a blue bubble in that room if you do get touched. In this room, we can quickly bomb through the top of the screen. And in here, we can cross over that blood and bomb the top of this screen as well. It's nice when it's just the flashing bubbles and not the red ones. You'll notice that the compass is on the left side of that room, and in this room there's some blue bubbles that can cure you if you've been cursed. Over in this room, you can easily take out these fires, but you don't have to. There's no reward for clearing them all. When we go down into this room, we can cross over the blood on the right side and bomb the wall so that we can get that compass. It looks like we got tagged by a red bubble, but that's okay. We're going to go back to that room with the blue bubbles anyway, so it's not that big of a deal. And we'll head through, and well, we got hit by a blue bubble anyway, nice. But we are going to come back the way that we came, and part of doing that is going into this room that has 3 blue bubbles, so if your sword was disabled, you can easily re-enable it right there. Head through this secret passage, and take the exit up on the left there. In this room, we can clear these keys, but we just need to use a key to open the door on the right side. Walk around the spiral and use one of our keys. That leaves us with 1 right now. In here, we'll fight a Gleeok. Remember that fighting it from the right side is optimal, and this is only a 2-headed Gleeok, and we have the magical sword now, so he's actually going to be quite easy. We'll get a blue rupee for our troubles, and we'll head into this room with a bunch of red bubbles. Now, if you get touched by a red bubble, it's not actually that big of a disaster. There is one more way that we can get our sword to work again that I haven't mentioned yet. Ultimately, we don't need our sword to fight the boss here. It's Gohma. What we do need is to use our bow. Remember to only shoot it when the eye is open, and every time you shoot an arrow, you will use a rupee, so make sure that you have a few rupees or you will not be able to operate the bow. There are so many energy balls going off here. Once Gohma goes down, we'll get that heart container, and then we can touch the Triforce, which will refill our energy, and will also re-enable our sword. Now that level 6 is complete, we can go on to level 7, but actually it makes more sense to skip over level 7 for now and move on to level 8. Before we go to level 8 though, we're going to need more rupees, and we're already in the right place for that. So once again, it's time for some ghost bustin'. I'm going to speed the game up again, so we can quickly kill these Jinnies and get some rupees. But the reason that we're going to skip over level 7 for now is that level 7 is one of the most difficult levels in the game. It's filled with dark nuts, and the boss is a 4-headed Gleeok. Plus, the only item that you're going to find in level 7 is the red candle, which is not very useful considering that we already found all of the hidden rupees out in the overworld. Level 8, in contrast, the boss is 3 Dodongos, which is very easy, and the items that we're going to find are the magic wand, which is very helpful with all the red bubble BS that we've been dealing with, and also the magical key that gives us infinite keys. Very good. In addition to that, we can get a bomb upgrade in level 8, so level 8 is just great. Part of the reason that we need to get more money before we go into level 8 is because we're going to need 100 rupees to pay for that bomb upgrade, but we also need to have monster bait to get through a key room. We used our previous monster bait whenever we were in level 3, so we need to take 60 more rupees and get another monster bait. Before we go and do that though, you may remember that we got the stepladder in level 6. So now, over here on the coast, we can grab another heart container, taking our total up to 14. Once we have that heart container, we are conveniently located near the store that has the best deal on monster bait. So let's head on up there. That's like our favorite store. All told, we're going to spend a whopping 370 rupees at this same store. That's as many rupees as were hidden in the overworld this time. Pretty crazy. Make your way up around the water. Watch out for the Peahats. There's one lonely Tektite bouncing around here, but so many Peahats on this screen. Try to navigate around them. Maybe we can actually kill one now that we have the magical sword. Yeah, there we go. Take that, Peahat. And then walk on through the wall, where we'll go to our favorite store. I know you think this is expensive, man, but I keep telling you, you have the best deal on monster bait. That's why we keep coming back for more. Maybe if the other store owners would lower their prices, we might patronize one of their establishments instead. But nope, that guy just has the good bargains, so we're going to keep coming back for more. Now that we bought that monster bait, it looks like we're a good bit short of the 100 rupees that we're going to need to get that bomb upgrade in level 8, so we're going to need to make more money. I know what you're thinking, it's time for ghost busting, but there is another way that we can make money. And I'm not talking about killing these blue Tektites, which is not a terrible way of making money, that's for sure. No, I'm talking about gambling. Now, you need to save your game before starting this trick, but if you come over here to where the game begins and go one screen to the left, there's a hidden gambling den right in this screen. So use your bombs, we'll select them from up on the menu, and blow up the wall right over here. Inside, now remember, you need to save before you do this. Pick one of the options, and whatever you do, pause the game, and then press up and A on controller 2 to do a quick save. If you got a good result, you want to choose save, and if you got a bad result, you'll choose retry. Now, whenever you choose retry, it's going to take you back to the last time that you saved. So we lost rupees that time. So this time we're going to press up and A on controller 2 and choose retry, and that will take us back to the last time that we saved. Now, it's very important that you save before you start gambling, because if you choose retry and you haven't saved in a long time, you could potentially wipe out tons of progress. So you've been warned. But gambling is a very easy way to make money because it's right here next to the beginning of the game, so it doesn't take very long to walk right over to that gambling den. We have 91 rupees now, which is quite close to the 100 that we need, so let's move on to level 8. We'll head on up here over near the Lost Hills. That's where we need to go. Level 8 is about 2 screens to the left of the Lost Hills, and remember that if you need to refill your health, there's a fairy fountain at the top. Clear out some of these enemies to get a little bit more money. We still need a few more rupees, and I want to make sure that we find them. We're at 93, 94 right now. It shouldn't be too hard to get 6 more. And this is it. This is the screen with level 8 on it. So come up here. That's where you want to bomb. And here it is, level 8. Now wait just 1 second. Before we go running into level 8 all half-cocked, be warned, the first room is filled with red bubbles. So if you accidentally touch one trying to get through this room, just exit level 8, go back to the Lost Hills and go to the fairy fountain there. That will restore your sword. Up here we'll meet more of those flashing rope enemies, which would be very dangerous if you don't have your sword available. Once you clear them all, you can actually push a block in here to open up a secret passage. Push it and head on through. There are a ton of hidden passages here in level 8, but we won't need to go on all of them. Some of them are just there to confuse you. When you emerge, there's some blue Gorias in this room. We need to bomb at the bottom of the screen and go through. In here, we can try to take out more of these blue Gorias. Use your boomerang to stun them, and we have the magical sword, so they're not that difficult to defeat now. Once you clear all of them out, that's where we'll find the map. If you don't have any interest in getting the map, you don't have to go into this section of the level at all. That was the only thing we were trying to get over here, so you just need to clear out all of these enemies so that you can push the block in the middle of the far left side. That will open up the secret passage and take us back the way that we came. So head on back through, watch out for the keys that haunt the passageway, and whenever we get back to the room that we left previously, we want to go through the door at the top of the screen this time. There's a bunch of blue Gorias in this room, and while they're fairly easy to kill, we don't get any special rewards for clearing this room of them. Although blue Gorias are pretty good to kill if you're low on health and are looking for hearts or fairies. Head up here, there's a Dig Dogger. We know how to take out that guy, put a bomb on him, and then play the recorder. There is a secret passage in this room, but we don't need to go through it. Instead, in the next room, we're going to need to use our monster bait, and I'm going to show you that trick to pass this room without giving it to him entirely. So choose the monster bait and give it to him, but then immediately pause and press up and A on the second controller, and then choose save. Now it's going to take you back to the opening area here, so we'll need to walk all the way back to level 8, so I'm going to speed the game up. It's not a very far walk. We'll also want to stop over at the fairy fountain in the Lost Hills so we can refill our health. But you'll see what happened here. Whenever we get back into level 8, we're going to get to that room wherever there was the Grumble Grumble, and it's going to be clear now, but we did not lose our monster bait. So here we are. No Goria blocking the way. We still have the monster bait. So that is a trick that you can use either here in level 8 or in level 3 if you wanted to use it there, so that you wouldn't have to buy the monster bait again. But by pressing the pause and going to the inventory and holding up and A on controller 2 to go to that quick save, we can trick the game into not taking the monster bait away. Well, now that we're through that room, there's some Gorias that we need to kill here to open the shutter doors on the left side. So take them out. There's also a key, very nice. And that takes us to this room with even more blue Gorias. They are kind of difficult to fight here in the close quarters, but remember you can stun them with your boomerang. They're a lot easier to fight than the Dark Nuts we had to deal with in this similar room configuration back in level 4. Once they're defeated, the doors will open up, and in here there's another Dig Dogger. There's a lot of mini-bosses here in level 8. Once again, we'll plant a bomb on top of them and use the recorder. A very effective strategy. Take out the smaller Dig Dogger pieces. Now we can go through the wall by using a bomb. We could have done that before, but we're going to have to come back this way anyway, and now we won't have to deal with that mini-boss again. We'll use our candle to illuminate this room that's full of bubbles, both red and blue. And there's some wall masters in there as well, so you do not want to hang out in that room for very long. In here there's 3 Dodongos, which you may think is the boss of the level, but Nope, this is just mini boss Dodongos. Remember, you can use the recorder to reduce the time that it takes for your bombs to blow up, and that could be a very good way to set them up in such a fashion that will blow up near the Dodongos, so that you can hit them with your sword and make sure that they spawn a bomb. Alright, well, we got that guy, and we have plenty of bombs, and we are even going to get a bomb upgrade in this very level. So sneak into this room, grab the key, and see if you can push that block without getting hit by the red bubbles. Well, got hit anyway. Not much you can do about it. Head on down through. Well, everything's alright because there's a blue bubble in this room that we can touch. Just make sure to touch it before moving on, and go through the door on the left. In here, there's some Stalfos enemies, which seem fairly trivial at this point in the game. Clear them out. And then you can push the block and open up another secret passage. This one leads to the magical key. We had one key to spare, so it looks like you can skip one of the keys that we found here in the game. But now that we have the magical key, we can open up any locked door, and it won't matter, we won't spend any keys. In this room, we need to deal with a dangerous combination of wall masters and bubbles. Hang out near the left side of the wall so you can summon as many wall masters as you can, and you'll have more space to dodge the bubbles. If you do get hit by a red one, try to touch the blue one to get your sword back online. And you don't have to actually kill all of the wall masters, but we do want to clear them so we can get down to the door below. Now that they're all clear, you would also be able to go through that passage, but that's not the way we wanted to head. We actually just want to head down here, push this block, and head through the door on the left. In that door on the left, there's going to be a bunch more of those flashing rope enemies, and whenever we defeat all of them, we'll be able to push that block in the center of the room and open up another secret passage. So clear out these rope enemies, push that block, and that'll open up another secret pathway. And on the other side of this one, there's going to be a Moldrum, which we haven't really seen any of those here in the second quest yet. So yeah, haven't seen one of those around, but we don't need to fight it. Just head through the door down below. There's some red Gorias in here. We can press through the wall at the bottom. This level is like Dodongo Central, but we can walk right by these ones and come down into this room where we'll need to fight more wall masters while dealing with the bubbles. Got a little bit lucky there. Most of the wall masters clustered at the top and none of the bubbles went up there. And now we can get the magic wand. Believe me, it is not usually that easy. Usually you need to hang out on the left side and summon the wall masters over there. But now that we have the magic wand, dealing with the red bubbles is a little bit easier. We have an effective secondary weapon option, which is very nice. Head back the way we came to the room with the Dodongos and take the door on the right side. In here, we're finally back to this room. You remember this one that we were in before. We had come through here previously after we got the map. We'll clear out all of these enemies, and then push the block in the middle of the left side, and that's going to open up a secret passage that will take us back near the beginning of the level, but that's okay. That's where we wanted to go anyway. We already collected a lot of the items that we needed, well, all of them really, other than the bomb upgrade, which we'll find near the end of the level. So what we want to do is come through this room, and well, now we have every enemy frozen, so we might as well take them all out and collect the rewards. But we want to go back up into that room where there was the Digdogger. So skip past these Gorias. And you remember this one. Now we're going to go into that secret passage. So we took out that Digdogger a long time ago, and I did mention there was a secret passage in this room, but it wasn't until now that we wanted to go through it. And you're going to want to press through the wall at the top of the room and go through the door on the left side here. In this room, there's a bunch more of those flashing rope enemies, but we don't have to defeat them right yet. Just press through the wall at the bottom of the screen. If we clear all of the easy enemies in this room, we'll get a rupee reward, and that's a pretty good thing considering we're about to spend 100 rupees to get that bomb upgrade. So we'll take these guys out and grab those 5 rupees and then head on through the door on the right side of the screen, where we'll go through a narrow hallway, and it doesn't matter that there's a locked door on the right side because we have infinite keys now. Take out these Gorias so we can open up this secret passage. You can use your wand if you want to. It's kind of nice actually that we have the magic book when we're fighting enemies like Gorias. They seem to be affected a lot by the fire. Take these guys out. And then we're going to push on the block on the left side. Oh, also some bombs, which we didn't really need, but, thanks anyway. And head on through the passage, which is going to take us very near to the end of the level. Now, whenever we get here, we could go up, and that's where the boss is. But instead, what we want to do is go down through the wall at the bottom of the screen. So that's going to take us to where we can get that bomb upgrade. We'll need to use a bomb to blow through the wall down here, but that doesn't matter. We're about to get a bomb upgrade, so we're going to get them all back. Head on down through this room. Don't worry about the enemies in here. There's an Aqua Mentis here. Oh no, it only takes 2 hits to take him out now. Head through the door on the left, and we're very close now. But we need to clear some wall masters. Alright, well, we do have the wand now, so we can equip that. If we get hit by the red bubbles, we can still use the wand to take out the wall masters. You'll want to hang out near the left side wall, and be very careful. Even though you can use the wand to take out the wall masters, they still are dangerous. Once you've cleared them all, push the block on the right side and that will open the door. And here's the old man who bets would like to have more bombs. Yeah, we definitely would. We didn't come all this way for nothing, old man. We want those bombs. Alright, it's going to be difficult to get around here without touching the bubble, or maybe not. It was actually fairly easy that time. And now we're going to go back to the room where the boss is and finish this level. So this is it. Head back the way that we came. We're going to go through the door at the top of the screen here. And there's 3 Dodongos again. And we know what to do here. Use your bombs. And of course we can use the recorder to shorten those fuses. Got a nice 2-for-1 shot there, very good. And now there's only 1 Dodongo left, see if we can get him. Alright, we'll just feed him the bombs, why not? Oh, yeah, okay. We'll grab our heart container, only 1 more to get. And there it is, the next to last Triforce piece. Only 1 more to go. We want to use the recorder to take us to that pond where level 3 was, but I can't remember the last place that we used the recorder to take us to, so we're just gonna blow it and see where we end up. Alright, level 1, perfect. We'll just face upwards and blow the recorder 1 time, and that should take us where we need to go. This is very close to where level 7 is, but before you go into level 7, make sure that you have at least 50 rupees. There's going to be another one of those toll rooms where you have to pay 50 rupees or give away one of your heart containers, and you certainly don't want to give away one of your heart containers. You need to approach the tree from this side to burn it, and then walk all the way around to be able to enter level 7. But that's how you get in there. So just come back down on this side, go through the path on the right, and there it is, the dreaded level 7. If we head into this room on the left, we can pick up the compass, but otherwise this is a dead end. Watch out for the blade traps as you make your way back to the entry room, and then head over to the right. In this next room, we'll see a very dangerous combination of enemies, Darknuts and Polsvoice, but that's not as bad as the combination that we'll see in the next room, Darknuts and Red Bubbles. It was nice of the game to line up all the red bubbles on the right side here in case we touch one, and then we can just go back onto the left to hit the blue bubble. It does not always work out that way. Cross on through into this room, and in here we can use our magic wand, which will make it a lot easier to take out the Darknuts and the Gibdos if we get hit by that flashing bubble. The sword deals more damage than the wand, so if the sword is available, make sure to use it, but if you're disabled because of touching that flashing bubble, you will have the wand available as a secondary option. We can push this block and head into a secret passage. This is going to take us to the red candle, so if you don't care about the red candle, you don't have to do any of this. Head through the door down here, and in this room, we want to clear out the enemies. Now, the easiest way to defeat the Polsvoice is to use your bow and arrow, which we actually have this time, and we took out 2 there with a single arrow. There's a random key in this room that we definitely don't need. And once all the enemies are defeated, we can push this block and we'll find the red candle. The red candle can be used as many times as you want on each screen, so that makes it superior to the blue candle, but it's not something that's actually very important anymore. You would want the red candle to make it easier to find hidden items in the overworld that are underneath burnable trees. Defeat the keys in this room so that you can open up the passage and go back the way that we came. Remember, if you don't think you need the red candle, which you definitely don't, then you can just skip over this part. Head on back through the passage. And whenever we emerge on the other side, what we want to do in level 7 is just go straight through the rooms. We're going to go all the way to the right and then go up the right side. It's fairly straightforward. There's a manhandla here. Take it out with a bomb. If you don't kill it completely, you can finish it with the sword. And you'll push that block on the left side to open the shutter doors on the right. In here, we can use our brand new red candle to light up the room, although it's not actually that important. There's a lot of dangerous enemies here, so just try to avoid them as best you can and make your way up into the next room, where you'll find some more dangerous enemies again. Now, we can use the water to our advantage here. The bubbles will not go onto the water, and neither will the Darknut enemies, so we can kind of hang out on the stepladder, and that will allow us to get the map safely. Continue to make your way up the right side. We're going to need to defeat a bunch of blue Darknuts in this room to open up those shutter doors at the top of the screen. We can use our magical sword and also bombs, but remember that whatever direction you're facing when you drop the bomb does matter. Take out the Darknuts as best you can. These are some of the most difficult enemies in the game, especially when you're being just pelted by energy balls by those statues. Now in this room, we don't have to kill all of these Darknuts, so just try to get out through the door at the top as quickly as possible. In here, we'll need to use our bow to take out Gohma. It's going to take 3 arrows to kill him, and you can only hurt him when the eye is open. But remember, it does cost a rupee every time you shoot an arrow, so be careful not to run out of rupees, and make sure you still have more than 50 because we are going to have to pay that toll. Kill all the keys in this room and push the block on the left side. That'll open up another secret passage that will take us into the wider part of the spiral at the end there. In this room, there's just a ton of Darknuts. Let's get away from those guys. Head on up into this room and push the block. We're going to go through the door on the right this time. In here, we need to pay that toll. Now, if you're not careful, there's actually 2 of these rooms in level 7, but if you follow this path, you'll only need to go through that one. And down here, we need to defeat a bunch more of those blue dark nuts before we'll be able to open up the passage that will get us out of this room. Use your bombs, use your sword, use whatever you can, and take them out so that we'll be able to move on to the end of level 7. Not too many left now, we're doing pretty good. Alright. And kill the last one, a fairy, very good. Push the block. And that'll take us through the secret passage, which is going to bring us out in the upper right corner of the map. So that's where we needed to go. There's some red bubbles in this room, watch out for them, and just go through the door on the left. And here we have to face down more blue dark nuts. 5 more to be exact. We need to kill them to open that shutter door on the left side. And once again, we're being pelted by energy balls. These rooms can be quite difficult, so just do your best. And in this room, we'll face the dreaded 4-headed Gleeok. Remember to attack it from the right side, and once the head is split off, recall that you can use the bombs to damage the floating heads. So use some bombs, and whenever the 4-headed Gleeok is defeated, we will find the last heart container, and in the room after it, the final piece of the Triforce of Wisdom. We've done it. We have the full Triforce, and now we can unlock level 9 and face Ganon once again. Well, this is it, the final leg of the game. The last time we used the recorder, we used it to get to the place that was level 3 in the first quest, so we need to blow it 4 times facing either direction to get to the graveyard. And that's where we're headed. This used to be level 6 in the first quest, and before we go to level 9, I highly recommend bringing the Water of Life. So one more time, we're going to head over into the graveyard and do some ghost busting. We need 68 rupees to buy the red Water of Life, so it shouldn't take too much money farming here. If you already have enough money, or you already have the red Water of Life, feel free to skip this step. But the other thing that you want to make sure that you have for level 9 is the magical shield, so if a like took your shield at some point, you are going to want to buy a new one. There are a lot of things that shoot at you in level 9. Now that we have enough money, we'll head over to that potion shop in the room with the white Armos statues, which is right over here. And that's where we can buy the red Water of Life, which is a much better value than the blue Water of Life. With the red one, you can use it 2 times. After you use it the first time, it will turn into a blue Water of Life. It's worth noting that if you have a blue Water of Life and you purchase another blue Water of Life, it will give you the red Water of Life, so you can actually combine them if you used it one time and would like to refresh that second usage. And with that, we're going to make our way to the final labyrinth. It's in the upper left corner of the map, so you just need to go all the way to the top left. You remember before there was that arrow-shaped formation of rocks where the magical sword was? There was a clue before that said to follow the direction of the arrow. Well, if you follow that arrow all the way until you can't go in that direction anymore, it would take you to the upper left corner of the screen, and that's where level 9 is. So perhaps that was the meaning of the clue, and it's not just a way to tell you where the magical sword is located. I'm not exactly sure. Maybe they intended it to be both clues. But in any case, this is it. Get your bombs out and place one right here in this spot about 4 from the end, and we'll be into level 9, the final dungeon. If we didn't have the full Triforce, there would be an old man blocking us in this room, and we want to take the door at the top of the screen. In here we can use our candle to light up the room, or we can use our wand since we have the magic book. All we need to do here is press through the wall on the right side, although these Zol enemies are easy to defeat, so it might be a good way to rack up a few kills. Head on through the wall. In this room we can light it up again with our wand, which is also convenient for fighting these keys, but we just need to press through the wall again on the right side. Over here we'll have to fight some Wizzrobes. In this room we want to go through the wall at the top of the screen, but this time we need to use a bomb. So take out your bombs and blow a hole in the wall. Try to get through without taking too much damage from the Wizzrobes, which you do not need to kill. In this room you'll fight a mini-boss, a Patra, and you need to defeat all of the baby Patras that circle it before you can kill the center. There are two different varieties of Patras. The one like this that turns the circle in like an ellipse shape, and there's another one that will spread the babies out wide, and that variety is a little bit more difficult. When you beat this guy, you'll get the map, and the map will reveal a lot about this dungeon. You want to press through the wall on the left side, and that will take you into the right eye on the map. All of the important items are located in very straightforward parts of this map. So in the left eye, you'll find the compass. In the right eye, which is right here, we're going to get the very important silver arrows. In the upper left corner, we'll find the red ring. And in the upper right corner, we'll find Princess Zelda. The silver arrows are a very powerful weapon that we'll only use one time. It is the weapon that we must have to defeat Ganon. Once we have it, go back the way that you came, come down into this room with the Wizzrobes, and press back through the wall on the left side. You remember this room that's dark, it's just a straight hallway across, so just walk across it and go to the left. We're trying to make our way back to the entrance of the dungeon, to that room that we needed the Triforce to get through, this one right here, and this time we want to go through the left door. So once you have the map and the silver arrows, you want to take the left door, and in here we'll face a blue Lanmola. There are red ones of these in the first quest, but I haven't seen any of those here in the second. The red ones are slower and less powerful, so it seems like they only put the stronger ones here in quest number 2. And of course, level 9 would feature some like-likes. Use your boomerang to stun them, but you do not need to clear this room out. Just defeat as many like-likes as you need to be able to get through easily. Make your way through the left door. In this room, we just want to go through the door at the top, but of course we can kill these easy enemies and hopefully get some item drops. Up here, we can light up this room. We use our wand again, since it is the better of the two options. And in here, we want to go through the door at the top. In this room, we're going to push the block, and then we're going to bomb the wall on the left side. So grab a bomb, and all we're going to do once we go through the wall is just go right back into this room. We just wanted to manipulate that block in the center so we can go to the door at the top of the screen. If you're interested in getting the compass, we can make a quick detour up here. It's a very short one, but if you don't need it, you won't have to do it. We're going to go through this right door regardless, and in this room, if you want the compass, this is where you want to bomb the bottom wall. There are red bubbles in here, so if you get caught by one, you're going to want to touch a blue bubble before you leave. There we go. And then head on down into this room where there's some Zol enemies, and when you clear them all out, we'll be able to get that compass, and as I said, Princess Zelda is in the upper right corner. The next thing we need to do though is make our way to the upper left corner, where we're going to find the red ring. There's also a secret passage up there that's going to lead us to the right side of the map that'll get us to Ganon, so we need to go this way regardless. We are very close to the end now. Don't mess around with those blue Wizzrobes, just take the door on the right. In this room, be very careful of the like-likes, of course, and we just want to take the door at the top of the screen, where an old man will tell us to go to the next room. Good advice. We need to push through the wall on the left. In this room, there's more dangerous like-likes. You don't want to lose your magic shield now, we're so close to Ganon. We don't need to worry about the ones up there on the top, so just get through the door on the left side. And in here, we just want to hurry through and go to the door at the top. There is a Patra to fight here, but we don't want to fight him yet. Instead, we want to go through the wall where we can fight 2 blue Lanmolas, which we know we should use our magic wand on, which will finish them off quite easily. So keep a far range from those guys, hit them with the magic wand, then push the block on the left side, which will take you into a secret passage where we'll find the red ring. The red ring is the ultimate armor in the game and will reduce the damage dealt to Link by 75%. It's not a mandatory item, but you're going to be happy to have it. Unfortunately, we won't get to use it for very long, because once we push through this wall and defeat this Patra, that's going to take us very close to the final boss. So take out all the baby Patras first, just stay right at the edge of the circle and attack with your sword, then finish off the center Patra. Push the block on the left side, which will open up a secret passage, and that's going to take us over onto the right side of the map, up in the upper right corner. Well, this room would have been very confusing if you approached it from the other side. There is a secret passage that can open in the upper right, but you can't get to it. Nope, you only can get to this passage from the other side. Bomb through the wall, and this is the more difficult style of Patra. This one spreads out the babies, so I'm going to use the Water of Life here to fill up our health. That should make this guy pretty easy to take out, but you want to stay towards the edges of the room when you're fighting this guy. And you can use the wand if you want to. The wand might give you some more range, but we have the shooting swords right now, so that may be more convenient. Alright, now that there aren't very many babies left, it's easier if you just get closer to the center Patra. Take out the last few babies, and finish off the middle beast. Oh, a fairy, that's nice. And in the next room, this is it. The final battle with Ganon. Triforce up, let's go. We'll equip our silver arrows so we're ready. And Ganon is invisible, just like he is in the first quest. Look for where the energy balls are coming from and attack in that general area, and once you hit Ganon, he will reappear in either the lower left or the lower right corner, so whenever you hit him, immediately attack in one of those 2 spots and you may get a free hit on him. Whenever he turns red, it's time for the silver arrow. Put 1 silver arrow on Ganon and he'll turn to dust, revealing his Triforce and opening the door to Zelda. We've done it. We've beaten the Legend of Zelda's second quest. All we can do now is sit back, relax, and enjoy the cheesy ending. While this does appear to be the exact same ending from the first quest, the last screen is different. Well, there it is. You are great. Well, I hope this video was able to help you finally beat the second quest of Zelda and save the world of classic Hyrule once and for all. If it did, make sure to give it a like and make sure to subscribe for more videos, because there will always be more hidden challenges in our old games for us to conquer. And that's why we'll be back again next week with another video game you can beat. Thanks for watching.